Do the Byrdes make it back to Chicago? What will happen to Ruth's fortune? Will 3 get his revenge for his family? Keep watching, because these are the questions we still need answers to after the Ozark finale. For a while, Ruth claims victory over the Byrdes by taking control of the casino. She receives the rights that belong to Darlene Snell, as well as the family farm.
Seeing as it's Darlene's land, only feels right for it to be run by locals.
It even looks like she might get away with killing Javi, but alas, Camelia bullies Claire into telling her who killed her son. Soon enough, Camelia ambushes Ruth outside her home, and the cartel boss shoots the fiery fan favorites in the final hour. This death introduces a major question. What will happen to Ruth's possessions, such as her stake in the casino, the Snell farm, and the Lazio motel? Though this might not seem substantial in the grand scheme of things, the cartel has used the casino to launder money, despite Ruth and Rachel Garrison's desire to go clean. It seems likely that 3 Langmore will gain the rights to Ruth's possessions unless she's listed Rachel as a benefactor. But all of this is based on speculation. Ruth was, to say the least, wealthy before her demise. The show makes a point of spotlighting this, given where she's from and the fact that her record is officially clean before her death. All of that money has got to go somewhere. Ruth convinces Rachel to come back to the Missouri Ozarks, a tainted place that has caused Rachel an enormous amount of pain. Now that Ruth is dead, Rachel's plan to work alongside her is kaput. She might decide to stay and make more money than she ever has by working at the casino. But it also wouldn't be surprising if Rachel disappeared yet again out of fear. Perhaps she, baby Zeke, and 3 will flee town together. It's pretty much anyone's guess. It's also not out of the question that Rachel might work for the Byrdes. That prospective work could take place in Missouri, Chicago, or somewhere else entirely. This is based solely on speculation, since her storyline ends with her working at the casino on the night of the Byrd Foundation Gala before Ruth is killed. The authorities would have to suspect Camelia of killing Ruth, but that's yet another mystery Ozark has left in its wake. With Ruth's passing, 3 is left as the lone survivor of the Langmore clan. This is a bit surprising considering he doesn't receive as much screen time as many other Langmore characters and isn't involved in the cartel or the Snell business. Nevertheless, 3 lives on. It remains to be seen what the most underrated Langmore will do now that Ruth is dead. Ruth presumably left 3 with enough resources to flee the Ozarks and try to find a more peaceful life somewhere else, but really, you never know. It's entirely possible that 3 will go after the cartel once he gets a whiff of who killed his cousin. I can't say for sure, of course. Like most of these questions, this will remain up for debate forever, barring spin-off projects or particularly revealing interviews with the creators. But here's what we do know for certain. 3 witnesses his entire family die while the Byrde family is in town. Whether or not those deaths are linked to that clan, that's the kind of thing that makes an impression. For a while, it seemed like the Byrdes might not make it out of this show alive, or if they did, they would have sustained irreparable damage. After all, Marty has to fill in as the head of the cartel in Mexico, Wendy checks herself into a mental health facility in a bid to get her kids back, and Charlotte and Jonah are on the verge of leaving with Wendy's father, Nathan.
Big decision. Take some time with it.
But the Byrdes managed to survive separation, a car crash, and all the other blood-soaked events that flood the series, and even managed to create a successful foundation in the process, thanks to Wendy. They're now free from the cartel and the FBI. When we last see the 4 triumphant family members, Mel has evidence that will link them to Ben's death, but then Jonah surprises him with a shotgun. Classic Jonah. This scene and the entire series end with the sound of a gun going off. Presumably, this comes from Jonah shooting Mel. Viewers are faced with a major question. Does the Byrde family finally go back to Chicago in the aftermath of this bloodshed? Someone will have to run the casino after Ruth's passing, but returning to Chicago was always the endgame. Do they fulfill that goal at last? The Byrdes still have partial ownership of the casino, and it wouldn't be out of the question for the cartel to continue laundering money through it, if they even need to, given their deal with the FBI. Though of course, this was always Omar's deal, and it remains to be seen what Camelia plans on doing as the head of the criminal organization. Regardless, this deal with the FBI is supposed to clear the Byrdes of any charges, as well as settle their debts with the cartel. They should be clear of criminal activity from this point on, but since the Byrde Foundation is still doing business with Claire, who is doing business with the cartel, who knows what lines will be crossed. Will the Byrdes stay clean? Hopefully, but there's a significant chance they won't. The cartel's leader is now free to do basically whatever she wants, as long as she continues to cooperate with the FBI. The series leaves the Byrdes free and clear from the authorities and the cartel, but they definitely might not stay that way. In the final moments of Ozark, Jonah points a shotgun at Mel. The screen goes black and the sound of a shot being fired rings out. This seems pretty definitive, but the ambiguity of the moment sparks questions. When shows or movies don't clearly depict someone's death, it very well might mean that they're not actually dead. Infamously, The Sopranos ends on a similarly mysterious cut to black, leaving fans to wonder if Tony Soprano meets his bloody end or not. Ozark is less vague than this ending, though. While Tony Soprano simply looks up at a diner, the sound of a gun being fired on Ozark is clear, and Jonah's shotgun is the only visible weapon in the scene. It feels pretty safe to say that Jonah kills Mel, but since it's not shown, fans might always wonder what happens and theorize accordingly. Perhaps, for example, Maya Miller shows up and fires her gun before Jonah can pull the trigger. That might seem wild, but it is possible. More likely than not, Mel meets his demise at Jonah's hands, and the Byrdes are free to drive off into the sunset. It's a perfect ending to a captivating crime drama full of surprises, but it's not the only ending fans have to accept. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.